It's LA's 97.1 Amp Radio. It's McCabe, and tonight talking with singer-songwriter, the super talented Tones and I. How are you, Tones?
Thank you. Hey, good. I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Thank you for stopping by the radio station here in Los Angeles. You've only visited a few times.
Yeah, I've been here 3-4 times now.
Yeah, and tonight you have a sold-out show at the iconic Fonda Theater.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
And you have been before, but only for a show. So how crazy is it now to think like, all right, I'm going to be on that stage. The last time I was there, I was just watching a band.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have places in Australia that I've been to watch artists, and I've always been like, I want to play there, I want to play there. You know, it means more when you've been there watching someone and been in the crowd. So, like, it's cool that the only show I've been to in LA is a place that I get to play.
Are you going to have time to go check out the sites, check out things you've wanted to see?
Yeah, I definitely will. I'll probably do it this afternoon before the show, and also tomorrow as well.
There's like Runyon. You can go check out like Runyon Canyon. You can see like all of LA,
yes,
which is not far from the Fonda. You can go up there. That's a good spot. I recommend. Thank you for being here on such like a crazy year. I mean, did you think looking back a year and a half ago, you would be where you're at and Dance Monkey would have launched you into this like global sensation?
No way. I mean, no way. I didn't even think I'd get played on radio in Australia one time.
And now you're like everywhere in the world on numerous stations in numerous cities.
Yeah, it's really crazy. And, you know, I guess everyone does have that one hit that brings them forward and helps them get a fan base. And that's what this song has done for me. So I'm thankful for the song.
And I want to talk about the song, but I do want to just go back, and I was reading, it wasn't all just super easy to get where you're at. I read that you were living in a van at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how were you working a job and then at the same time playing music?
Well, I mean, like, I worked a job and lived in a house. I made the decision to leave the normal job and just be a street performer, and it meant I would have to live in my van. So I made that decision, and I was like, I'm still playing music. It's my full-time job to play music, even though I'm just performing on the street. I'd rather live in my van and do that than live in a house and work a job I hate 38, 40 hours a week.
And I think there's a lot of artists that can relate to that. You go down to Santa Monica, or you go down to Venice, or even Hollywood Boulevard. You have artists that are performing there, and they're just waiting for their next break.
Yeah.
What was it like on like a day-to-day? Was it you'd get up, go perform for a few hours?
Yeah, so sometimes in the daytimes I would busk like at the beachfront, but usually it was at night because if I busked in town, they don't really let you busk if all the shops are open because it's like annoying or something, so you have to wait for the shops to close, and then I would busk at nighttime, which would sometimes be a bit more hectic because everyone's really drunk. But it's all right, and then in the daytimes if I wanted to busk, I would do it like at the beach.
Was there ever like a scary moment being out there by yourself, setting up your own equipment, and a random drunk person does come up, or just like some person out of nowhere tries to take your equipment?
Yeah, well, there was a few like veterans that have been busking for like their whole lives, and they're like older men, and like a few like stale people, because like I was in a beachside town that all the buskers were like dudes with long hair and guitars, so like to come in with like all this crazy weird equipment to them was like electronic equipment, and be doing this and then getting massive crowds. Like there were a few other people that weren't happy with me, which
because
I think
you would get such like a big crowd.
Yeah, and I think it's just a tall poppy syndrome thing. They actually would actually let themselves believe that I took crowds away from them, where it's like everyone comes here to look at the buskers. If they want to stay and watch you, they will, if they like what you're doing. If they don't want to stay and watch you, they're not going to stay and watch you. Nothing
Right.
I do can stop that, because I'm nowhere near you when I'm busking. They don't even know I'm busking when they're watching you. They'll find me if they keep walking. But so I mean, yeah, there was a little bit of politics, and those guys did get pretty aggressive at one point. But like, I just shut it down,
Have you been back since, just to go check it out and maybe see some old friends?
Yeah, I did like a show at my hostel that I used to stay at. They used to let me park my van there and use the showers if I played there once a week. So I was there for like 2 years. And I went back and did like a show and put like a cover on the door and raised money for the hostel as well. So that was huge, and that was really, really fun. That was like at the end of last year. And I want to go back all the time, but like when I have a chance, you know.
And at that time, while you were performing on the street, were you making the EP, like recording?
Mm-hmm.
Were you writing?
Mm-hmm.
So at what point, let's get into Dance Monkey. Where were you when you wrote that song, and what like inspired, the story behind it?
So I wrote Dance Monkey in like a little bush cabin, which is where I used to go back on like 2 days a week or a day a week to write new music, because it's hard to write music in your van. So I used to go back and write in this little cabin, and it was in the walk-in wardrobe, because like didn't want anyone to hear me playing music, because I was very sensitive about like stuffing up and writing music and getting it right and not having people hear me go over and over and over and over again. So I just I set up in the walk-in wardrobe and wrote the song in half an hour. And the song was just about like the most common things that people say to me when I'm busking. I had like a real bad night where like people were just like again, like they weren't even chanting one more song. I'd done like 6 encores, and then they were just chanting again. And then I just got frustrated, I guess a bit upset by the fact that like people are so used to being entertained at the click of a button by social media that you could really see that. Mm-hmm. There was no patience. So I wrote the song about that. I just replaced the word sing with dance, so it really would be sing. And then the verses and everything are just like the most common things I got told when I was busking on the street. They say, "Oh my God, I see the way you shine." They'd always take my hands and be like, "You stopped me when I was walking by, I like your style. I see you every time I come past." Like I literally just described what it was like busking on the street that one night when I was feeling very overwhelmed. And yeah, I wrote a song about it.
You wrote a song about that has touched so many lives around the world. At what point did it go from basking to then it's on the radio and people are requesting it and you're hearing it on social media? Like, what was that transition like?
Well, we pretty much, I pretty much just was like, I'm not going to release a song until I have a fan base of at least 10,000 followers, because everyone just gets so eager to release their music these days that they haven't really set up a foundation for themselves. And I was like, if I'm going to leave my friends and family and leave my job and live in my van, like I'm going to just build my fan bases, focus on like touching people live, making sure they know me, start following me. And when I get to 10,000 followers and I have enough followers for something to actually happen, mm-hmm. I'll release my first song. So I did that with Johnny Run Away, and that song got radio play that same day that I released my first ever song. Mm-hmm. And then got added around Australia, went to like number 10 in Australia. And then I released Dance Monkey, and my managers were like, "Oh, don't be upset if Dance Monkey doesn't go to radio, because what happened with Johnny was such a random thing, like that doesn't happen." And I was like, okay. And then Dance Monkey just like started off strong and then just got real strong all of a sudden. Like started off strong. I was like, it's not going to be anywhere near
right.
Johnny. And then it just kind of was everywhere.
Why do you think you made that connection with people around the world?
Well, I mean, that song was doing that before I even released it. I wrote the song over a year ago, and it did this like crazy thing that you wouldn't even fully understand unless you were there. But like when I first played the song, everyone at the hostel like got up and started dancing, and there was this like talent show at my hostel that I was living at every Tuesday night. And I played the song for the first time there, and everyone just went crazy when the chorus hit. And I used to loop the whole song in, so I'd mm-hmm. loop it first and play it. And then I played on the street as well, busking, and then back at the talent show on Tuesday nights. So the only way anyone in this town could hear this song is live. There was nowhere to listen to it. There was nowhere you could go to stream it.
Right.
So what happened was, over the course of like 2 months, is everyone just started coming to the hostel, and the guy that runs the talent show said, "Will you end every talent show with Dance Monkey? Instead of like getting up in the middle and playing a random song, will you end it with Dance Monkey?" I said, okay. Then over the course of like 5 weeks, it was all of a sudden this hostel was at full capacity, 500 mm-hmm. people. They couldn't let anyone in every single week, full capacity. They started charging a cover on the door. So they raised money for a new PA just because people wanted to come, waited through the whole 2.5 hour talent show for this one song at the end, which was like the craziest thing. Everyone knew all the words. Everyone just got up and started dancing straight away. They got down for the drop, and it was like the epitome of music bringing people together. Almost like back when there was no such thing as streaming music. Right. You know, that's kind of how it flowed for like 4 months. And before I released Johnny, everyone wanted Dance Monkey. So in Australia, like, it kind of did what it's doing now, but on a way smaller scale.
I feel like, I mean, people that were visiting that hostel, or you had artists around there, you had to have opened such a big door for them. I mean, you're raising money for the hostel to get new equipment. That just must have been so cool for the other artists that are there now probably get to perform.
Yeah, the people that, because I lived there for so long, like, I was very good friends with like the owner, and all my best friends worked on reception, or, you know, and my other friends lived in tents there. Mm-hmm. So like to me, like, that place is like, they're the people that really showed me that I was good enough and I could be an artist. Because before I moved there, before I started busking, I was just singing covers at pubs, and that was just killing me. I thought to myself, the worst feeling in the world is thinking that, like, I'm not going to be an artist. I can't live and play music without working a full-time job. And that was like really scaring me, the feeling that I got from that. So I just had to do it, because I knew that no matter what, I would be super sad for the rest of my life if I didn't, and I could tell. So then when I started doing this, now it's become like an iconic space for other artists, and I've brought artists up. I got the artists that I've met that busked with me on the street in Byron Bay, mm-hmm. like, have supported me in London, have supported me, like, the people that I was with that worked and hustled with me and lived the same life as me, like, or maybe just didn't get the recognition that I did. Like, I've had support me in like places around the world now. So I think that's really cool. And they're incredible as well. Right.
No, it's amazing. I mean, and going from that to now being on a world tour, and you're touring the U.S. right now, what have been some of the biggest changes for you going from to where you were to where you are now?
Definitely learning how to live out of a suitcase, but I did live out of my van. Mm-hmm. But the thing is about your van, you can just leave your stuff all over the van for like a month, but with the suitcase you have to repack it all the time, which, you know, you just can't buy that many clothes, mm-hmm. or just like have that many things, which is fine. That's no issue. But then probably also like the difference now is like, I met my idol the other day, like one person that inspires me the most in the whole world, that surprised me at my show and like wants to like maybe work on music in the future, which is stuff like I never thought in my whole life would ever happen, like ever. Mm-hmm. Like if I could meet anyone in the world, and like these people that I looked up to like want to work with me, like think that I'm like someone that could add value to their style of music, which mm-hmm. is crazy, because I don't think about charts or anything, but that's definitely the biggest thing.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was on your Instagram, and I'm guessing that's Macklemore. Mm-hmm. is one of your biggest idols. Yeah. Tell us about that day or night. Like, did he come to a show, and what was that experience like, and will you be working together?
He pretty much was like, I pretty much just rocked up at my show before I went on stage. And like I got to meet him, and like, I mean, this is the biggest thing ever. Like for me, like, even thinking about it right now, like it just doesn't connect, because like I just couldn't even believe it. I can't believe this. So then we hung out for like half an hour before the show. Then the show started, and he stayed, and then he left before I got off stage. And then we've connected since and spoken about, you know, doing some music together. I've got so many unreleased tracks. I'm working on an album. I'm pretty sure he might be. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Mm-hmm. But like, I mean, every artist is always working on music.
Did he approach you, or did you approach him? And what was like that first conversation? Like, was it like just tongue-tied, like, oh my God, Macklemore? Or
I think I don't know what to say. It's so hard. Like, it's really hard, because you have this connection with this person, but they don't know who you are.
Right.
And that's something that now I'm on the other side of as well. But the way that you connect with someone and their music growing up is almost like they're there for you, but then they don't know who you are.
Right.
So it's like, you need to keep that in mind when you meet people, because it can be very uncomfortable. So I just kept that in mind, and obviously I definitely spoke to him about like how much he's influenced me and my music and the way that I am. But then apart from that, you know, I think we just chatted normally. And yeah, I think we were like, I don't know, like we're friends now. which is the coolest thing
I think
ever.
that's amazing. I mean, to go from a year ago listening to your idols and seeing what they're doing, and then now you're talking with them at shows and they're fans of you. So just congratulations on everything. What else can we expect for 2020? You're on tour now. Are we working on even newer music?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm about to drop an album. I'm going to drop a few songs before the whole album drops. Seems to be the way these days, just purely for the exact reason why, if anyone wants to know, is because there's a few songs that are completely ready and the other ones need a bit of work. So I don't want to wait out until like the end of everything's ready. I want to just like give some music out now. Australia really needs some because they've been listening to Dance Monkey before, like months before it even hit over here. So then I want to drop the rest of the album, and then I want to like come out with a few singles, like collaborations. I was very against it at the start because I really wanted to show people who I was first, and not just out of the gate just say yes to collabs. So I said no to all of them. And now I'm just very open-minded about it now that I've done my first EP on my own, my album on my own, I've produced my own tracks as well. Now I'm ready to learn from other artists that inspire me. So it's a good time for me.
And is Never Seen the Rain going to be another single?
Yeah.
Let's, before that one takes over the world, what can you tell us about Never Seen the Rain and writing that record?
Never Seen the Rain is my favorite song on the EP, and it's literally Never Seen the Rain is about me, like, and my life, going through the motions of just kind of being comfortable and waking up and doing the same thing. You're comfortable, but like you don't experience like true success or happiness, or really working hard for something that you really don't know is going to pay off, but you really want it. And then the opposite as well. No real loss or sadness from really wanting anything. You're just kind of on that line, and it's about everyone else too.
Well, we look forward to more new music from you and everything that you're doing in 2020. It's an exciting time for Tones and I. Thank you for stopping by 97.1 Amp Radio. And also the hair. I mean, do you like to constantly like change the color of the hair? Well,
I got real like different with all my colors of my outfits. So I was like, okay, let's just do it with the hair too. I was getting bored of myself, and then my actual hair just started falling out, so I don't know what's going on there. We'll figure it out when I get off tour if it's not all gone by then.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out something. Tones and I, thank you so much for stopping by 97.1 Amp Radio.
Thanks, legend. See ya.